Thank you so much for being in tune with us.
Yes.
And this is Dewey Roberts. Dewey Roberts, a community leader, a guy that I was talking about him on Facebook. I was doing a Facebook Live that attended Tennessee State University and played at the White House for President Johnson.
Here, Johnson.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, man. Don't keep telling my age.
And then Dewey came to the University of Tennessee, graduated from the University of Tennessee, also worked for TVA, but probably best known for NAACP president. I worked very hard with him.
Yes, sir.
We
You
filed a
did.
complaint in 1989
We worked
against
hard.
the school system. And Dewey wrote that complaint because it was only one African-American person that was a supervisor, assistant principal in the white schools, which meant that if you were African-American, you couldn't be a principal in the
That's
white
right.
schools. That
That's right.
changed.
Mhm.
And then a couple of years later, there were more than 30 people that were principals and assistant principals. The schools were upgraded. Millions of dollars were spent on the schools. This
Yeah,
year,
over $50 million.
over 50 million, millions and 1000000s. And Dewey, in 2022, do the students in Knox County have an opportunity to get an education?
They most certainly do. You know, one of the tasks of the school board seat that you're getting ready to run for and win is to ensure that young people have the same advantages other people have. And what we found out in 1990 was that there was a equal distribution of funds for the inner city schools, and like I said, they had to upgrade all the inner city schools. And you have to be careful. You have to watch out for that. That's the reason I think you will do great in that you will be able to see what we saw in 1990 that we hadn't even seen before then.
Well, the Austin East Library hadn't been updated in like 40 years. We worked with two superintendents very closely. Worked with the Mr. Hoffmaster, and then we worked with Mr. Alan Morgan. So it was a lot of hours and a lot of dedication. And Dewey, I'll be candid, a lot of learning. I had to learn a lot about curriculum and how the curriculum worked in terms of, even now things have changed.
Yeah, they have.
90s,
and you have to stay on top of things. And that's the reason I say we have to have a school board member that can understand when you see those things that are not right, to know that they're not right and know how to go about correcting them. So, and I like the idea of what you said about meeting with the parents and also the teachers, but the parents especially. When we first started out with Project Grad, the idea was to get parents involved with the schools and have them come in and be part of it. But people need to know, the parents need to know what's going on and what they can do to make it better. Like I think I heard you say, education starts at home.
It does. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And so, but you can only be an educated parent if people share information with you.
I love that. Me being a communications person, I was majoring in communications in high school and in college. And communication brings about an understanding.
Yes, it does.
So what you said, Mr. Roberts, is if someone shares information with you, so it has to be a sharing process.
Exactly. And also you have to be aware, but what I'm saying, the community needs to be, parents especially need to be more connected to the schools.
Amen.
And more able to actually visit the schools and just see what's going on. And
well, especially PTA meetings, when they have a child that's enrolled in a school, they need to come and they need to consult with the instructors, the teachers in the schools, and they need to see what contribution they need to make. Sometimes,
exactly.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you, I, and everything, all of us have to be straightened out through grade school and middle school. Of course, not you. Dewey told me his father whipped him one time, that was it.
Yeah, I didn't go to the school he was principal of. I was 5 years old and I put his pants legs. He was talking to St. Clair Cobb, who was the band master. And he turned around and slapped me so hard. I said, I didn't know what I did, but I wasn't going to do that again. So. Well,
and it's just proof there are so many people that have gone through the Knox County school system that have been successful. I know a guy, and I don't think it's fair for me to mention his name without permission. His parents died in middle school, but he still finished school, finished AE, and ended up being, an attorney. There is a guy that graduated from Austin East and University of Tennessee, McKenzie, that was running the president of operations for the Raiders.
Raiders.
Multi-trillion, millions and millions of. And so there have been quite a few people. My dear friend, who has been supportive of me, and I love what he does, Elston Turner, went to the street signing and opening for him. And he was a product of Knox County Schools. It's not only athletes, but it's guys that are electricians, guys that are plumbers, guys that have gone through our system and are very successful.
Well, and they talk about Elston and George Underwood, who you were referring to. Those guys were special. They were special in the fact that they wanted to get better, wanted to learn, and you have some pressure from the community also when you are winning basketball team or football team.
Yes, true.
So, but I think it's so important that our young people are encouraged and motivated to take the next step to success. And, so it means you got to prepare yourself and learn how to do a skill, learn how to do something like you said, mechanics.
Right.
Welders, those are skills that no one can take away from you, and things, and time has not changed those things. Those occupations were popular back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they still are. So
you're welcome to call in 865-215-2288. We're only going to be with you a couple more minutes. I want to mention someone who has gone through the Knox County school system and is super classy, just a bright person. I did Bible study with her father, Francis Hall, just a class act. Her son ended up in the communications broadcast industry, but a great communicator and realizes communications like I do brings some understanding among people.
Yes, Francis is a special person. She comes from a special family. That's great people.
Classy mother.
Classy and so that's great. I think because she's one of my favorite people also. But very classy. But I guess what I'm saying is so that all our young people, we need to try to encourage them and push them to be the best of the best.
Amen to that. Amen. And doing the broadcast of the Austin East football games, and I did all the championship games at Fulton High School and meeting so many young people. And what I did, I encouraged them when they were not successful or when they were successful, because the key more than anything else in athletics is to learn to be there on time and be disciplined. And athletics is not all in all of everything, but athletics definitely shows you how to do a job.
And I think that's one of the things we're missing now. Back a few years ago, when I was coaching and baby road runs and all that, those kids got a dose of discipline that somehow you don't have if you're not involved in sports. You can be like with Boy Scouts, stuff like that, but I'm serious. The discipline is what takes you from one level to another.
Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We have been coming to you live, and we have been doing it really every couple of weeks.